it's Dr. Gilchrist, and we are going to go over how to do exercises 29 and 30, the effect of a single mild punishment, and the effect of a single severe punishment. Now I've got my bar press file already opened, and we are going to start with that. We want to make sure that when we're starting with this, that Sniffy is nice and trained. First things first that we're going to do, we are going to basically work off of, so we're going to go click Save As, and we're going to go ahead and call this Single Mild Punishment Experiment 29. I am going to replace this file. So I've already done my Save As. Remember that labels are very, very helpful. So we're going to go into Experiment. We're going to pick a Design Operant Conditioning Experiment. And here's what's really important. So we've got our radio buttons for reinforcement schedule. In this instance, for a single mild punishment, we're going to go ahead and pick an Extinction Trial. Make sure that the pellet dispenser is muted. And for a single mild punishment, we are going to punish a bar press, so make sure that's checked, and then make sure that first press only is checked. Now once I click apply, Sniffy is going to jump into the air after it presses the bar the first time, indicating that it has received a shock. So let's go ahead and apply that right now. Say you didn't like that. Okay, so the criterion here is extinction occurs when Sniffy presses the bar no more than twice in a 5-minute period. So for this single mild punishment, what you're going to notice is that there is going to be a temporary suppression of behavior. So right now I have my helpful advice window open. You can see that Sniffy's rate of responding is dropping. So if we look at that cumulative recorder, the line is flat, indicating absolutely no bar pressing, and the response rate is dropping very, very quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and briefly, I'm going to wait just a minute or two. I'm going to go ahead and isolate Sniffy, and you are totally welcome to do that. And now I'm going to show him. And what you can kind of see here is that we once again have gotten a return in behavior. So we have this very, very flat line indicating no bar pressing at all. We have a suppression of that behavior. But now notice that this behavior has returned, and Sniffy is basically responding at a pretty relatively high rate. Now this is an extinction trial. Sniffy is not getting reinforced for bar pressing. So what you're going to notice is that we get this brief return in behavior, but notice too that our rate of responding is dropping once again because no food is being presented. So the criterion for saving this file is no more than 2 bar presses in a 5-minute period. As a reminder, a 5-minute period is basically this rectangle right here. So when we go from a dashed line to a regular line, or a regular line to a dashed line. So in this case, what might help is isolating Sniffy for a little bit. And you can kind of see that we are getting closer to that extinction, but that behavior is still occurring. So now I'm going to show Sniffy. So here we have 3 responses in a 5-minute period. Here's at least 3 or 4. So we're going to isolate a little bit further. And then we're going to go ahead and click show. So right here, right after these 3 responses, so there's 1, 2, and 3, we had no responses in this 5-minute period right here. That line is completely flat. So in this particular case, we'll go ahead and click save. And now we're going to do the effect of a single severe punishment. So we're going to go ahead and open a file. I do wish to save. And we're going to open up that bar press file again. Now what's really critical here, once again, we're going to go save as single severe punishment, exercise 30. So again, we're working off of our bar press file. We have save as. We're going to go to Design Operant Conditioning Experiment. We're once again going to pick the button for Extinction Trial. We're going to mute the pellet dispenser, punish the bar press, the first press, and we're going to select the checkbox that says High Punishment. So make sure that all 4 boxes are checked. We are getting a single severe punishment here, and then we are going to click Apply. So Sniffy got the shock. And in this particular case, we are going to see a greater suppression of behavior. So I'm going to go ahead and close this window. So notice if we scroll all the way to the end with the cumulative recorder, so you'll see extinction muted press bar. You can see that that line is pretty flat, indicating that Sniffy is not responding. I'm going to go ahead and isolate. And I'm going to briefly show Sniffy. So notice that it went for almost 10 minutes. Sniffy went almost 10 minutes without pressing the bar. Now yours might look a little bit different. If that's the case, remember that this is a simulation. Notice here that I already have my extinction. So here within the first 15 minutes, Sniffy only pressed the bar twice. And notice that Sniffy's rate of responding is now 0.55 times per minute. So we've already met the qualification for extinction. With our single mild punishment, this extinction took a lot longer. Now it's not a complete removal of the behavior. We did suppress the behavior of bar pressing for about 10 minutes, but then Sniffy began to press the bar again. And Sniffy will occasionally press the bar, but notice that it's at a very, very low rate. So I'm going to go ahead and click Save. So what I'd like you to do for this assignment is make sure that you meet the extinction criteria. The isolate function can help you out very much with this. What I would also tell you is I want to look at the cumulative recorder. I want to have a pretty good idea of this suppression, and what I'd like you to do is compare the amount of suppression and changes in the rate of bar pressing in both a single mild punishment and a single severe punishment. So you should be pretty good to go for this, and hopefully this is a pretty straightforward assignment. Compare and contrast changes in behavior to that single mild punishment and that single severe punishment, and I will see you on Thursday. Bye, everybody.